Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness finally made its way to our homes. Man, it's been 4 years. 4 years since we got a CG content from Resident Evil. Let's be honest. Who have watched these real anime films? Nope, I have. And I know it is underrated. Some of you have watched it and some of you haven't. Let's say they were average or good or just time passer to say the least. I know I'm a big fan and I know about Resident Evil 6, how it just made everything into shit in this franchise. A lot of you know Resident Evil 6 made this franchise into a Michael Bay movies. But now it is back into a survival horror roots with the release of Biohazard. And it was great to see a big change. So these movies was influenced by it, but the first part, Resident Evil Degeneration, didn't release at the time of RE6, but the two movies, Damnation and Vendetta, was the victim of this syndrome. So as my video style suggests, I'm gonna show to you how this series is different from its counterparts. Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, okay? Rolling the intro, folks. So Resident Evil Infinite Darkness takes place between Resident Evil 4 and 5. The story takes the perspective of our poster boy and girl of the franchise, Leon and Claire, who is wearing glass by the way. Oh, isn't she hot? So our protagonist tries to prevent the hack tech or hack attack, okay, hack tech will be fine, to the White House of President. So if we look at the previous continuation, they felt kinda recycled. Talking about degeneration, the film explored from the perspective of Leon and Claire, who are stuck in an airport which is infested by zombies. Or what else can it be? So there are some supporting characters like the kid with Claire, Angela Mirror as the partner of Leon, who by the way ends up thirsting Leon at the end of the film. The film just ends like any other movie or the game, just defeating a boss in the end. It was it. The movie had some good points and its flaws, and the story felt kinda lacking in some places, but it was enjoyable if you want a good time. So talking about Damnation, it's kinda same, but instead of Tricell, BOW is controlled by a Russian president, and this movie is all around fan service. Like there are liquors, tyrants, beehives, and many nuts to the games. The movie could have been great, but if there been more focus on the characters appear in the film instead of Leon, and there is added too. Overall, Damnation is a best part in the CG movies which takes action into right consideration. The next up is our Vendetta. And seriously, this is the Vendetta. This movie is like John Wick amount of action met zombies. Just look at it. The film just looked like as they just wanted us to watch Chris and Leon fight together and make us forget about the story. The character Rebecca Chambers, which is a major part of the Resident Evil 0 and the first entry, but here she was just a damsel in distress and served no purpose at all, and other characters like Villain didn't have the time to look good. Instead he was just so typical, oh, my wife is dead, so I will destroy this planet, and there is action and more action. So clearly, it was the worst part of the trilogy. Talking about the flaws of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, yeah, there are many, which makes it kind of an time-passing flick, but it just improves upon it sometimes. But the flaws are really distracting. The first one flaw is the underusing of Claire. Claire is so much underused that you can only watch her like in last two episodes, because there are only 4 episodes. The first 2 episodes they were Claire, which kinda not visible, sometimes visible but not visible. And the other hand, the pacing, which is a major drawback. and the story does not feel. It just makes you desire for more. There's the investigation, which feels like no. So it just ended. The investigation is the end point of the whole series. The next thing is the lack of character development. The development is like really much non-existent, and the character Jason gets in, and which is not justified at all. Not spoiling though, but it was just really bad. The next thing was that Leon and Claire didn't get the character development that they needed. We know that Leon and Claire got their development in their respective games, but still, it was a problem. Getting back to the elephant in the room, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness just takes its narrative to a different level. Instead, it uses the hack attack as an excuse to show us the BOW, which is kinda great thing. And there's not a single guy who is saying, "Oh, I'm gonna destroy this country, I'm gonna destroy this world." Yep, kinda happens, but at a sensible way. The lore is also expanded here with tons of references, but not in a fan service way, but as a story expanding element. The characters are also more focused. Instead of using the camera fully on Leon and Claire, there are characters to root for like Jason and Shenmei. The world building feels real this time, and shows also give us the glimpse of how the people are influenced by the outbreak. The political aspect was good too, and we finally get to see the death of most annoying co-lead in video game. Yup, President Graham is very much here. Resident Evil 4 fans, Paris?
Oh, you pervert! Hey, what are you looking at? Oh, you pervert! Hey, what are you looking at? Oh, you pervert!
Yes, the action and emphasis on horror is balanced really well. The story at first is compelling, but narrative gets rushed, which is a drawback, and it is really distracting. But all in all, the action is great, along with its visual, which are stunning. Who can forget about Claire glasses? Okay, I'm not doing this again. This time, Leon also gets damage into his character by letting us know how he is still haunted by the memories of Raccoon City. Claire's character also gets expanded of how she is holding up in Terror Safe, which gets geared towards Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is an underrated entry I recommend you to play it. All in all, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is a great startup for the upcoming series going to be produced by Netflix. It's in a good part, way to say that. So Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is out on Netflix. It's a pretty good show, so go check it out. Until then, I will meet you in the next one. Geek out.